Welcome to Remembering Our Spirits. I just finished recording the 27th of December, and at the very end, because I'm doing this on quick time, my QuickTime player on my computer, it froze. There's no there's no area on QuickTime player for pauses. So yes, I'm looking into something new, and I'll get there when I get there. So, welcome to Remembering Our Spirits from the book Around the Year with Emmett Fox, December 27th, 2023, Take 2. Training Your Thoughts. Glasses. Thought is the real causative force in life, and there is no other. You cannot have one kind of mind and another kind of environment. You cannot change your environment while leaving your mind unchanged. This is the real key to life. If you change your mind, your conditions must change also. Your body must change, your activities must change, your home must change. The color tone of your whole life and all of your relationships must and will change. And be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This may be called the great cosmic law. The practical difficulty in applying it arises from the fact that our thoughts are so close to us that it's difficult without a little practice or a lot of practice to stand back and look at them objectively. Yet, that is just what you must learn to do. You must train yourself to choose the subject of your thinking at any given time, and also to choose the emotional tone. If you are not determined to start in right now and carefully select all day the kind of thoughts that you are going to think, you may as well give up on all hope of shaping your life and your relationships into the kind that you really want to have. The way to start on a 7-day mental diet is to begin now. How does one begin? Good question. I had my near-death experience in August of 1993, and I became alcohol-free and chose to live substance-free in August of 1995. What I started doing was I started practicing gratitude. I would either think 3 things that I was grateful for, or I would text 3 things to someone in my life, or I would write 3 things down. And I generally did that in the morning because I'm a morning person. And if I was in the very beginning, I most likely wrote them down at night as well, because my thought life was so toxic and so fear-based and full of self-doubt and self-loathing and self-pity and judgment toward myself and others. Oh, God, it's so boring to think about that now. Because all I did was wallow in self-pity and wallow in thinking about myself. Boring. So I began with gratitude. The other thing I did is whenever I would have a judgmental thought, which of course was all the frickin' time, I was constantly judging myself and constantly judging other people outside of me, is I started inviting spirit into the judgmental thought and asking with gratitude that it be transformed into spirit's love and truth. That way, I did not have to know exactly what the new thought needed to be. I was so mired in the judgment, fear-based, negative thinking. And I was so attached to being externally identified and defined, that it was such a brainer in the beginning. And what I would do is I call it an affirming prayer. You can call it whatever you like. I would say, Spirit, I invite you into this non judgmental thought, or I invite you into this negative thinking, or I invite you in to this fear-based thought, and I'm grateful that you transform it into your love and truth. And there were times when I was so mired and so covered in darkness, I would end the prayer with, and could you please hurry the F up? That's a prayer. No one can tell me otherwise. I use that prayer. I still use that prayer. And I use that prayer a lot when I started training my thoughts. A lot. And what Brene Brown says is who she is non-negotiable. Who I am is non-negotiable. So if you don't like that prayer, don't use it. Don't use it. If you start judging me for the prayers that I choose to use, then I suggest and know that the spiritual truth for you is that there are parts of yourself and aspects of yourself that you judge harshly, that you're not in relationship with yet. Because when you judge somebody outside of you, that is simply a reflection of the judgment and harshness that you hold within and for yourself. That, my friends, is a spiritual axiom that is true 24/7, 365 days a year. The most important relationship that we are all having begins with the one that we're having with ourselves, our human nature, and our spiritual nature. This whole year has been about sharing, having a relationship with your spiritual nature and the spiritual practices and tools that I use and have been sharing this entire year, and also sharing Emmett Fox's tools. And if my tools and Emmett Fox's tools don't work for you, find some that do and be willing to share them on this channel. As always, take the best for you and leave the rest. Training your thoughts, that's what a spiritual practice is all about for my spiritual nature. Have a blessed day.